I saw this clip of Susan Boyle, I choked up and I was teary-eyed, didn't want anyone to see me. And the second time, which was 2 minutes after it was done, I looked at it again and I had the very same response. There are many different perspectives that we can take from that video clip of that individual who is 47 years old. And what you didn't see was a part of the clip that says she's unemployed. The last time she performed was when she was 12 years old in the presence of an audience. And she had a dream that one day she will perform in the presence of a huge crowd, as she did. She said in her life, at 47 years old, she has never been kissed. It says something about the person. And in her very first introduction of herself, you saw the response, you saw the facial expressions of those people in the audience, even the judges, thinking, wow, when can we just get this over with? This square, odd looking and behaving person. And when she started, within 3 to 5 seconds of a performance, she transformed the emotions and the response and her subscription to what she had to deliver. You and I sometimes are victim to situations like that, where we are judged based on how we look, how we behave, where we come from. And there are many different perspectives we could put on that very beautiful clip as displayed by Susan Boyle. But today, I would like to share with you what is known as a karmic analysis of that very beautiful video clip. Have you ever wondered to yourself, why do bad things happen to good people? Have you ever wondered that? Why do bad things seem to happen to good people? And on the flip side, sometimes, why do sometimes what apparently seems to be good things happen to those who are leading very unrighteous lives? Why is it that some children are born with a handicap? Why it is that some children are born into homes or to villages or into no homes? They are just born and left to society, hoping that someone would find the child and tend to the basic needs. Is it that God made an error in those situations? Is it that sometimes He's so busy that He misses sometimes the little details in life? Sometimes when we view events and circumstances in your life and in those lives around you, sometimes we wonder, where is the perfection in this universe? Why is it that sometimes bad things happen to good people? Is it luck? Is it good luck? Or is it bad luck? If you were to examine Susan Boyle's life, just to let you know, within 2 days of that clip being posted on YouTube, for those of you who look at YouTube, she had over 7 million hits, meaning 7 million people looked at that video clip. Why? Because it struck something that provokes the fundamental of human conditioning. Now, let's look at this individual. Was she lucky? After 47 years, having reached 47 years in her life, having not performed to an audience such as that since she was 12 years old, and probably not as huge as that, but having not had a similar presentation for so many years in her life, living a life of a hermit, not even being kissed at 47 years old, it says something about the social lifestyle of that person. Was she lucky on that particular day? Is there anything as good luck or bad luck in your life? We would have beaten this subject to death before. In our lives, there is nothing like luck. You know what is luck? Luck is preparation meeting opportunity. That is what luck is. It is not a magic wand. It is not God looking down at you from the heavenly region and saying, today I will bring a miracle in your life. Every breathing moment in our life is a miracle. But when things like that happens, not only in her life but in your life, when from the midst of nowhere all the stars seem to align and good things happen to you in the midst of nowhere, it is not magic. It is when preparation, her preparation, made her ready for that opportunity to stand on that stage in the midst of being laughed at and ridiculed and expecting failure and a disastrous performance. She stood there and delivered based on her preparation. What is to be prepared? If luck is preparation meeting opportunity, what is it to be prepared? You see, we must learn to unveil and become intimate with this concept that is known as karma. What you saw by Susan Boyle's performance, it was nothing but karma and a major karmic episode in her life. What does that mean to you? What is karma? It is a word that is probably would make the next Oxford Dictionary because it has become so popular in the Western world. What is karma? Karma is? What is karma? Karma is action and the consequence of action. Correct. Action is consequent, karma is action and the consequence of action. You know, just last night I was reading from this book called Oneness by Jeffrey Moses, and he looked at different scriptures or different religions, and this is what he had to say. Listen to all of these quotations and tell me which one belonged to which religion. Whatever a man sows, that he also reaps. What scripture, what religion did that quotation come from? Somebody says it's the Bible. The first time I read it, I thought, that sounds like Hinduism, but it came from the Bible. Very correct. This one, it is nature's rule that as we sow, we shall reap. I will help you. That's Buddhism. The third quotation, as a man soweth, so shall he reap. Sounds the same, doesn't it? That's Sikhism. Listen to this one. A liberal man will be enriched, and one who waters will himself one day be watered. That came from Judaism. This one, what proceeds from you will return to you. What proceeds from you will one day return to you. That's Confucianism, the Chinese philosophy. And then finally, thou cannot gather what thou does not sow. And as thou plant the tree, so it will grow. That's Hinduism. The concept of karma is not a Hindu concept. It is a universal law. It is a universal fundamental principle by which this universe operates. And when we think about as you sow, so shall you reap. How does it go in Hindi? Jaise, karni, vaise, bharni. What you sow, it is exactly what will come your way. As a child, what you sacrifice in terms of your investment in your school, no one will reap that benefit but you. There is a time for everything. There's a time for fun and games and relationships, and there's a time for seriousness. And in the same way, in your life as an adult, whatever you do, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, to yourself, for yourself, or towards other people, one day, based on the perfect accounting system of this universe, one day, those actions will come back towards you. What you sow, what you plant, one day you will have to reap. As Pandit always says, you can't plant baigan and expect to reap bhaji. Yeah? Whatever you plant, whatever deeds you perform, it is the repercussions of those exact deeds will come back for your enjoyment or for your suffering.